stop being woke.
Swear it ain't nothing but rage.
What's up, people? Your boy is back. Your boy is back. It's your boy DP Brown, back again with your comics, culture, and conversation. All right. So here on my channel, I want to talk about just different things within like the comics, just culture in general, and just have conversation with people. So, if you're just getting on to my channel, I talk about many different things, not just comics, not just, culture, but just things across the board of what I think about life, what I think about, things that's going on, and, stuff that inspires me to write the work that I do. I am the writer and creator of The Theme of Thieves. Make sure that you go to themeofthieves.com to check out my material, and I will be having the first issue coming out pretty soon here. All right. So if you haven't placed your order, go onto the site, place your order. Got some really good stuff. So I really want to talk about some things that have been on my mind. I was just watching like the Olympics, and for whatever reason, the term woke came across my mind and everything. And, this woke is kind of like a hot topic, nowadays. You got different politicians, you got different people, using the term and everything. And I just wanted to actually just talk about what the term means to me, and how I interpret it, and also what does woke, mean in today's culture. So let's go. Let's look at the term woke first. It's the past tense of the term wake, which means to become alert to or be aware of. If you look at this in the most simplest terms, if someone accuses you of being woke, or you find that you made a discovery of something that you weren't aware of before, in essence, you have awakened. You have woken up to that problem or issue. The term to me is silly, but I do actually recognize its significance in discovery. So, I grant that. When we were all young, a lot of us were told by our parents that every Christmas, an old fat white man with a white beard will come down the chimney and bring kids presents if they were good. Now, you would think that this would scare the shit out of some kids, because on all the other days of the year, if they were told someone will be coming down coming to their house in the middle of the night while they were asleep, this will cause significant childhood trauma that will be long lasting to a child going into an adult. So why the hell would a parent do this? But no. Parents tell their kids these tales to stimulate imagination and also to maintain a sense of innocence, which I guess is okay. So the child gets presents under the false pretenses that someone else did this, and thus has tons of fun in that imaginary world, opening their presents with their brothers and sisters, with their family members and everything. And all is had. You get cookies, you get milk, whatever, breakfast in the morning, at the same time you're opening presents, having family, grandma's coming over, aunts and, uncles coming over, the family coming over, watching the kids be joyous and opening their presents and stuff. Fun time is had by all. We all remember Christmas as being the fun day of the year, the most fun day of the year, in fact, as children. And we just want to pass that tradition on to our kids and keep their innocence as long as possible. But eventually, the child grows up. And guess what? They become awakened to the truth. Awakened. Yep, see what I did there? The child gets woke. I want to say that I personally used to hate the term. Apparently, young black folks have been saying this in earnest whenever they discover parts of history that weren't presented to them in the high school history or science class or any part of high school or junior high that they weren't really present to or presented, to in their education. They then go to college and find that there's a different world. It was a show called The Different World, if you guys remember that, with Kadeem Hardison and everything. So make sure you guys check that out. But they find out there's a different world out there being taught when they start to meet other types of people from either different areas of the country, different areas of life, different races, and also different classes. They find that the institutions that they once trusted for 16, 17, 18 years in their bubble that they grew up in have flaws. And they weren't exactly explained to them, thoroughly when they, growing up. All the while, from kindergarten through 12th grade, you're educated, but you're only educated so much. And then the college experience is supposed to educate you to a much bigger world and everything. We only get so much, in the world that we live in growing up, and you're supposed to go to college in order to enlighten yourself a lot better. It's a bigger world out there. Unfortunately, not all of us get that experience of that bigger world and get stuck in that bubble that breeds prejudices and also ways of thought that aren't always healthy. That's another rant for another day. Now you see that this is the same as when you were told Santa Claus was real and then you found out that your parents were liars. Why would they lie? Ouch. Just a sidebar here. I knew a couple who were divorced and they had they had separated kids. Some of you probably experienced this, but they had divorced kids and they had two Christmases. I know we have a lot of parents out there that experience the two Christmases, either as parents or as children. Okay, so if you experience this, make sure that you go into the comments and leave some of your experiences and everything. But you had two Christmases, and the parents sort of try to one up each other, as far as what they could get for their kids and stuff. And maybe in the morning, the children go to the moms, and then in the evening they go to the dads and everything. And they experience two Christmases. I mean, I guess as a kid, this would be just the biggest Christmas in the world and everything. They had two Christmases, with two separate families and everything. Unfortunate, realities of the divorce. But I knew the mom, and she would tell me that every Christmas, she would do all she could to please her, children and everything, and work real hard to get them Christmas gifts, only for the kids to talk about Santa Claus as if he did everything for them, and then the gifts that the mom would designate as her gifts to the kids, they will look at those gifts as okay, just something that they wouldn't really respect those gifts. They respected the gifts from Santa Claus, but they didn't really respect the gifts from their mom, as much. When in reality, she brought everything. She bought all the gifts and everything. And I was just stunned by the fact that, the children wasn't really respecting the fact of how the presents were labeled. You would think that, the kids would be more respectful of the ones bought by their mom, the one who actually gave birth to them. But nonetheless, they were caught up in that fantasy, in that imaginary world that Santa Claus, that they were told was the biggest, the biggest gift giver in the world and everything, bought them gifts, the best gifts. And then the mom, she just didn't really, get them as much as they would have liked or whatever. So thus every Christmas, she would experience this. She was just experiencing sadness, not only because their kid, her children had to go, had to experience the two Christmases, but the fact that the gifts that she designated for her as hers, the one that she labeled, wasn't really given as much respect, as the ones that were given to them by Santa Claus. Now, how crazy is that? All right, end of sidebar. I found my annoyance that with the word woke, that it only stemmed from the fact that I knew that I already knew a lot of the stuff that young folks were like discovering, and that they just decided to put a cool label on it. I mean, bravo to them for making that effort to discovery and actually wake up, you know. What I see in today's culture that annoys me even more than the fact that the word has now been co-opted for like political purposes. Now, all of a sudden, if you're accused of being woke, you are somewhat a bad person for trying to seek knowledge and challenge a status quo that may not be right. You ask questions that rightly should have been asked and that they should be given answers to, but people are telling you to stop asking so many damn questions. You ask questions to get answers. I mean, how else are you supposed to get answers if you don't ask questions? I mean, it seems like it's like logical and simple, but yet, you know, it's a complicated thing in our society, especially here in America. So stop being woke. If trying to seek knowledge is un-American, then I have to question and pray for everyone who is trying to shame me or anyone else trying to seek out that knowledge. If I was a kid that knew Santa Claus wasn't real and started to tell other kids, the backlash on this will be so harsh because I will have no proof or credibility beyond the fact that I know it to be true because my parents told me so. And my parents aren't liars, right? Now, if I was a child, I would probably get made fun of in school and be shamed because I wasn't believing along with the rest of the kids. We as kids want to be in the in crowd, and surely the kids' parents couldn't be liars, right? There's absolutely no chance of that, or mine for that matter. Nonetheless, all us adults know the truth because we've been woke for so long. When I see a person, politician, people on Facebook, people commenting in article sections online, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, just dozen other Variety, just any culture, any article online talking about anything. And they start to complain about woke culture in their posts. I have to wonder why they are so against enlightenment. Or do they really even understand the term that they're using and its context? Or are they just repeating something that they've heard from a cable news outlet or online site that peddles in confirmation bias? I mean, frankly, it just bewilders me. To me, living in America means to constantly seek out the opportunity for knowledge. How are we best to honor our great American soldiers that go out and fight for our right and fight for our country if we don't take advantage of these opportunities? The great American right is to ask questions, to get answers, and also seek to build a better union. That's what our great founding fathers of this country did. Shouldn't everyone be free to live that right if they want to instead of being shamed? In other countries, and even in regimes throughout history, you have many cases where independent thought was a no-no. The ruling class would never want rebels, Star Wars reference, to disrupt their rule of law because of things that they hide from people to circumvent the truth. If history taught us anything, that if we want to keep seeking any type of betterment, we have to want to be better. It's a simple concept, but people make things complicated, sometimes overly so. Isn't it what we want for our kids? Don't we want them to ask questions so we could give them answers? And if they don't know the answer to their questions, wouldn't it be nice to relate to them by seeking the answers together with our children? That would be awesome because it would give us a way to better be with our children in all the avenues that they want to seek answers to. Anyway, I'll leave you guys with this question, and it's probably one of the most important questions you can ask yourself today or even in this lifetime. Is Santa Claus real? Hey, make sure that you guys are following me. If you like what you heard, hit the subscribe button right now. Make sure you get that notification so anytime I'm on or I post, you know that I'm on. I'm gonna try to do these about like once a week, and then do like a live segment at like the end of the month. I'll end up giving like a schedule on when these are going to come on, more consistently. But make sure that you're following me at Dog Pound Brown. I am on Facebook, and I'm also on Instagram and also on Twitter. Make sure that you are checking out my website, themeofthieves.com. I post my comic, stuff. I have my stuff come out with Dan Ickes. I almost pronounced his name wrong. Shut up, Dan. But we had the comic coming out called The Theme of Thieves. Got some really good stuff in it, and can't wait for you guys to actually check that out. But make sure that you guys are going there, subscribing there, to get that comment. And I got like a 8-post preview of the comic and everything on there. So make sure you guys, like I said, are checking that out. The Theme of Thieves. It's about 3 individuals who are trying to figure out a mystery of why people are disappearing in present day. Okay, and they go through all types of crazy adventures throughout time. I kind of likened it to like The Wire, Lost, and also The Quantum Leap. So if you like that stuff, make sure that you guys are checking my stuff out. themeofthieves.com. With that being said, stay woke. And peace out. All right.